This thing is really freaking good. Hey there guys, this is Dwight, Shop Opposite Force Parkour. Today, we're going to teach you guys a series of drills to improve a ton of aspects of your parkour conditioning, okay? Coordination, functionality, mobility, endurance, creativity, a bunch of other words ending with ility, okay? Let's get into it. Alright, so what are these three awesome drills that we're going to get into today? They are a combination of quadrupedal movements, mobility, and functionality drills. This entire weekend, actually the next couple of weeks with the Opposite Force Parkour are going to be sort of getting away from all of the vaults and things that we've taught you. I know that's probably a little weird, but you're going to be getting away from all of your standard movements and working on your functionality, your mobility, your creativity, and really just sort of adding things into your repertoire. The reason why I say this is because I want you guys to think about high-level professional athletes. Think about them for a second. Do you think a tennis player only advances and makes progress as a tennis player by hitting a tennis ball? No. Do you think a basketball player only stands at the three-point line and shoots three-pointers? No. Do you think football players become better football players by just putting on pads and hitting each other? No. They have tried and true processes as well as drills and exercises that improve their functionality, mobility, and their overall athleticism. This thing is melting. That allow them to become the best athletes they possibly can be. So that's the same thing that we're going to do with these three drills. They're really simple. They actually start with the lower body and pretty much work on explosive strength. But you're also going to have some of your quadrupedal movements thrown in there. But a lot of this stuff is going to be on the ground. You're all stretched. You're limber. You're warm. You got blood flowing. Now you're ready to go. All right? Let's work on these magical drills that are going to pretty much hit every aspect of your parkour training. And I actually mean that. You're going to be able to work on your speed, agility, balance, focus, your quadrupedal movement, everything you could possibly think of is going to be here. Now, the most important thing is that you're going to be improving your mobility, functionality, and explosive strength. Those are the three things you're going to see improved the most. Each one of these drills targets one of those aspects independently while keeping all of the other aspects of biomechanics in thought. So the first one that we're going to work on, because these don't actually have names, we sort of just kind of threw these together, is going to be the quadrupedal drop. Quadrupedal drop's really cool. It works simple. You get up on the edge of something. Don't choose something too high. You don't have to be crazy. These should actually be low impact drills. So you're going to get in mind a ledge of some sort. Picnic table into grass is the best, absolute best place to do this. Get a couple friends together so you guys can work on this together, especially if you have two people dropping at the same time. Now you're going to drop off of the table and pretty much jump out. Don't jump down, jump out. You're going to land and go into a parkour roll. While you are in that parkour roll, while you're rolling, your partner or whoever you're working with is going to yell out a quadrupedal crawl. Keep it to like 3. Do bear crawls, walking sticks or lizard crawls, whatever you want to call them, and donkey kicks, right? As soon as you get out of that roll, go into a set distance of doing those quadrupedal movements. This is going to work on your reaction time. You need to come out of that roll immediately into the quadrupedal movements that you want to be doing. So we're going to do a couple, and you guys can figure it out from there, and then we will go into the next drill. All right, so remember, we're going with 3 different crawls. Bear crawls, lizard walks, or walking sticks, whichever one you want to call them, and donkey kicks. And I'm just going to go a short distance so you guys can see what's going to be happening. This is all up to my mentality. I have to focus, and this is all about reaction time. Now, what we're really going to be working on here, especially with the quadrupedal movement, the key to that is going to be overall body mechanics, biomechanics. We're going to be working on functionality of the human body here. So I'm going to get a nice little jump. I'm going to take my roll, and as I'm rolling, Eric is going to call out a quadrupedal movement to me, and I'm going to throw it, okay? Hopefully you saw enough of that. But essentially, I took a jump, I took a roll, and as I was rolling, Eric called out the quadrupedal movement that I needed to do. Instead of coming up into a roll and waiting, figuring out my donkey kick, I rolled up into a donkey kick. Let's do something real quick. I'm going to link you guys to our quadrupedal movement video because we talk extensively about the walking stick / lizard crawl, whatever people call it. So we're going to put that here. We're going to leave it here about 15 seconds. So you guys can go click on that and you can get a little bit more of an understanding on quadrupedal movement. I don't want you guys watching this video and trying to figure out quadrupedal movement and these drills at the same time. So that's going to be drill number 1, all right? And that one's actually pretty simple. Get up on something, jump off, make impact, roll, and make sure that while you're rolling, whoever is with you that's helping you is calling out those quadrupedal movements quickly so you can immediately get up into that roll and get that quadrupedal movement going. You can set up a marker or maybe like a plastic cone, like a soccer or football cone or something like that to give you a marker to move to. So that's drill number 1, and we're going to come back with drill number 2. All right, guys, we call these toad quads. Toad as in the animal, quad as in 4, because there are going to be 4 obstacles. We're using cones. If you don't have cones, you can put anything down, really. The objective is simple. You're going to start at one corner, and you're going to go around the entire perimeter of the cone setup, all right? Not on the inside, on the outside. You want to make a rectangle, all right? You want your length to be longer than your width, okay? It just makes things a little more interesting. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be traversing this entire setup without turning our body. You heard me right, without turning our body. So I'm going to do one of these drills real quick. Be creative. You can use whatever movement style you want, but you cannot use the same movement style twice in a single run. You cannot, and you cannot turn. Not just inside the cones, you cannot turn at all. So whatever facing your body is at, you must maintain. All right, so here we go. I'm going to run this drill real quick. You ready? That's all you have to do. That's how you run the drill. Now you can make a larger rectangle, and remember that this is all about creative movement. The most important aspects are actually when you're going sideways and when you're going backwards. Those are vastly going to increase your functionality. Also, being down here in a squatted position and not being able to come up during the entire exercise is really going to allow you to get some pretty good cardio work in and improve your coordination. Now let's go to drill number 3. All right, guys, drill number 3, frog lines or frog leaps, whatever you want to call them. I like to call them frog leaps because we're actually going to have an entire another video about a different drill that is really awesome, that sort of uses the same mechanics and ideas, but needs a little more explanation because there's actually a game involved with it. Right now we have this setup where we have our 2 mini boxes. This one's night and day, and that one's just the black box. And then the picnic table at the end. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a frog position, which is going to be this really low squatted position. Alright, now I know that this is an issue for some people where you get stuck up like this, and no matter what you do, you cannot get that butt or those hamstrings perfectly against your calf. I know that's a problem for a lot of people. The overall purpose of these drills is to actually work on form and functionality. Alright, it's to improve flexibility, it's to improve mobility, and that is an issue of flexibility and mobility. It's also an issue of having poor hip flexor flexibility, especially poor hip flexor flexibility and problems with your lower back or your psoas linking from the outside of the spine to the inside of the thighs. So you end up getting stuck like this. No matter how hard you try, you can't get that full squat. With this, we want to try and get that full squat. If you can't, just keep working on it until you get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the back side of this box. I'm going to find a proper distance to make maybe 1 or even 2 frog hops to get myself into position to spring myself into a precision onto a box. Then I'm going to keep going until I get down to the picnic table. This mainly focuses on explosive strength. You're going to get a lot of explosive strength. I want you guys to think about a spring. If you've ever taken a spring and you've jammed it down and let it go, what happens? Pow! It just explodes away from you. We want to use those same mechanics in our biomechanical functions. So we want to take that idea of that spring being compressed and let go in this. When you get down on the ground and you jam yourself into this tight little ball and you release all of that kinetic energy, okay, that is going to make explosive kinetic movement. So let's show you these, and it'll be a little easier to understand once you see. Now remember, don't get too close to the box, because if you get too close to the box, you're going to clip your knees or you're not going to make it. The idea of getting up on the box is actually not to use your hands at all. Now you can use a proper frog leap or what we call the monkey to get to the box. I like to use no hands because it lets me work on my balance. So remember how important it can be to work on your coordination and balance. So let's get these done. There you go. That's how you run that drill. I actually hit my finger on the box, and that's what I meant about getting too close to the box. So you can also work on your spatial awareness while you're working on this drill. Now guys, these drills are absolutely awesome. All you have to do is run them the right way, and you will start seeing explosive increases in your strength, functionality, flexibility, and all of those other words ending with ility. So I want you guys to start working on these. You know, the problem with a lot of parkour practitioners and free runners is the fact that we just want to throw flips and vaults, and we don't really know or understand how important it is unless we were athletes prior to our lives with parkour and free running, how important it can actually be to work on mobility and functionality drills, okay? All athletes work on mobility, functionality, and explosive strength, and you guys should be working on that too. So I hope you guys enjoy these drills. Please actually use them, and remember, we're going for 100 subscribers in the month of July. So I want you guys to like, give us that thumbs up, share, and make sure you're subscribing so you can see all the rest of our work. Up next is going to be a video about another drill called frog lines. See ya. Yeah.
Oh, hi. Give me a second while I seductively lick this popsicle.
Parkour. Today we're gonna help you guys learn.
I just started rolling it again. I didn't know it was already rolling.
Yeah, I wanted it rolling. Is it rolling?
It's rolling now, yeah.
Okay. Shit, I wanted it rolling.
I'm sorry. I thought it was off. I didn't know you had it going.